Howdy and welcome to the Cape. It's great to have you back. I'm Mark, and you're watching Blue Street Customs. Howdy folks, how's things today? I was looking at this, and I know it's going to take a while to put all these little boards on, okay? It's going to take a while to do all this. Some of them are going to have to get trimmed thin at the end. Some of them are going to have to get trimmed for length. And once it gets down here, it's going to get quite twisty and stuff. Some of them I might have to steam so I can curve them properly. So what I'm thinking is I'll show you a little bit here, but it's going to be more of updates while I do this haul instead of actually showing it all. So with that said, let's get to it. So yes, things are going to go quite slow here, I think. So you have to go like this, and I know I'll have to trim for length, and I'm going to have to thin it out a little bit right here. I have to trim for length and trim it out a bit. And then the same thing on this end. It's going to take some time to get it glued tight and to go around these curves. And then at the same time, cut it for length, as you can see, so that it fits tight against the keel and hull and all that stuff. So these first couple shouldn't be too hard, but like I said, once I get down to here and some of the sharper corners here, it's going to take a bit of work.
Anchors aweigh, my boys, anchors aweigh. Farewell to college joys, we sail at break of day.
Now I have to be careful when I put the super glue on, not to glue myself to the ship. That would really suck, because I would either have to break it to get my fingers off so that I can use a release agent. I might be able to use some sort of a release agent without breaking it. I'm not sure, depending on how I got stuck to it. So if you're doing this, make sure to be careful and do your best. Maybe wear gloves. At least then you can take the glove off and use a knife to shave the glove off the wood. Who knows? I still haven't found any type of CV glue accelerant yet. It would be really nice because then I wouldn't have to hold it as much. Look at that. See, I'm stuck already. There we go. Be careful. I don't have gloves, otherwise I'd probably put some on. Now this end's going to be a little trickier because I have to trim this end. This end just runs wild at the end, so I can easily trim that off after. This one, on the other hand, is not going to be as easy. I've checked a couple ways. I don't see any easier way to do this. If you know of a way, let me know in the comments. Maybe a faster setting glue would probably help. Maybe a glue with some sort of needle tip on it. Maybe there's a glue out there that's way more suitable for doing this type of stuff. I don't know. So I'm trying to keep it tight to the top, but yet keep it well curved to the ribs of the hull.
Farewell to college joys, we sail at break of day. Through our last night ashore.
So I'll just let that sit up for a second here. I'm going to get my mini cutters. Hey, these are just tiny little mini cutters. You can buy them usually most hobby stores. You might find them online. Fairly cheap. I think I only paid like $5 for mine. So on this here, I'm just going to kind of nibble away at this until it sits right where I want it to, or close to, and then I'll use the knife. And yes, those pieces will fly. Okay, so now I've got it a lot closer. So what I can do, carefully take the knife. You can see that. It's a lot closer. But I can run with the angle of my front nose. I can try and trim this to be the same. Little by little. Better take off a little bit a few times instead of having to take off too much and can't put it back on as easy. I think that's going to do right there. So I've got that. I'm going to get this in there so you can see it. Get that real close. Now I might have to do a few touch-ups once it's glued down. Now I thought of putting some tape on this to hold it, but there's actually quite a bit of force that I'm using to hold it down. I don't think tape would hold tight enough and stick well enough to the wood to be able to hold it down exactly where I want it. So unfortunately, I have to do it like this. Now, although with this one, right on the tip like that, I might be able to do it this way. Okay, I'm going to let that dry. I'll be right back. Well, so far, that's what I've got done. Now, this is roughly 9.5 hours worth of work. And as you can see, I've got to taper things, trim them. It's definitely a lot of work. I've already pre-sanded a bit of it. I've still got to trim back here at the very back. You trim it so it's flush with this. I don't know if you can see that or not. There we go. I'll have to trim the wood so it's flush with the end of this. Now these pieces are going to start getting shorter and shorter. This curve here is a real pain, to say the least. So I will keep going and I'll show you when I've got this side done. And then it would be the task of doing the other side. Well, I was doing pretty good, as you can see, until we had a bit of a catastrophic failure, which kind of hit me in the face. Had my clamps on. Sorry, still a little shaken from the sudden snap. Had the clamps on. This one snapped off from here. And this one literally snapped. And this is what hit me in the face. So, even building models, you should always be careful. So now I gotta try and fix this, which isn't too bad. Obviously this clamp is now semi-garbage. Probably use it for something else, maybe bust off the other tip. Use it as a, I don't know, a gripping clamp, I guess. So, always be careful. So, again, I'll continue on this, and I'll show you when it's done. Okay. Holy hell, that was tough, to say the least. Got her done on this side anyways. Still got to fill the gaps. A few little things, some touch-ups. A little bit more sanding. But we got it. You can see some of the gaps there. Not very easy. Smooth out some of the lines. But I tell you what, looks pretty good. Be even better once I get some of the gaps and stuff filled. I'm going to start on this side. But that'll probably be a different episode. Maybe I might just do this side and then start another episode on something else. So let me know in the comments if you want to see this side. I will film it. don't know if I'll produce it though, depending on what you guys say. Pretty much be the exact same thing as this. So let me know. Until then, later.